Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, a local artist honoring our veterans and grandparents through song. Are annuities a good option for your retirement? We will investigate. Then, we'll lift off with Women in Flight. And we have tips to help veterans avoid scams.
It's time to get geoing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Music is a powerful instrument that can take us back in time, where we can revisit old friends and fond memories. Jill Jordan Burke is a singer-songwriter who hits the high notes with her music and connections at senior communities. Jill is here to remind us that our older friends have many gifts to share. We just need to unwrap them. So welcome to our show.
Hi, Lori. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, we're happy to have you. What led you to perform before, in front of senior groups?
My grandmother, she takes the credit. She was at a nursing home after a mini stroke, and she called me one day and invited me to come out and sing for her friends, and I didn't know that they offered such a situation. So my grandmother started it for me.
All right. And you have two missions, I understand, correct?
That's correct. I try to honor at every show our veterans and our military and our grandparents, because they're two groups that are kind of forgotten by our society, and it's very sad. So I try to praise them.
Okay. And you've got some stories about grandparents, correct?
Yes. In my musical journey, especially with the retirement communities, I become very aware of the power of a song. And songs mean so much to each one of us. It doesn't matter what kind of music it is. Well, one day I was singing at a retirement community, an assisted living facility, and after I was done singing, a gentleman came up to me and he said, "Jill, the next time I'm here, you better sing my song, my favorite song by my guy." And I said, "Who's that?" And he said, "George Jones." And I said, "Well, what is the song?" And he said, "He Stopped Loving Her Today." So just then a woman walked up to me and said, "Do you know who this gentleman is?" And I said, "No." She said, "Dick Logan. He played for Ohio State, and so did his son, Jeff." So I said, "Well, my gosh, that's amazing. It's an honor to meet you." Well, he told me that he loves to discuss country music, and I said, "Well, I have a son that is a quarterback, and he wanted to play for Kent State." And he said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you my phone number, and I want you to bring your son to come see me, and we'll talk football and country music." Wow. So right then, he took my number, called me right there, and so he said, "Let me know when you want to come back." So as soon as I got in the car, I called my dad and my brother and my husband and my son and told them about Dick Logan. And so they were all impressed. Well, I got home that night and I thought, there's one more phone call that I want to make. I want to call Dick and thank him for his kindness. So I did, and it went to voicemail. And I said, "Dick, I'll have that song for you the next time I'm there, but I should have asked for your autograph, because I found out that he also played for the Cleveland Browns and the Green Bay Packers." So a couple weeks later, I got a phone call, and it went to voicemail, and it was Dick Logan's grandson letting me know that Dick had passed away. And they heard my voicemail, and they wanted to know what his favorite song was.
Oh, my goodness.
I told them, and they asked me if I would sing that at his celebration of life. So I have to tell you what an honor it was to be amongst all of his colleagues and fans and the young people that he had touched through the years and mentored. They all showed up, and I got to sing that special George Jones song for Dick Logan.
Wow.
So
what a great connection.
It really was. The power of a song. So I met a great family. His family was so welcoming, and I just was honored that I got to do such a thing.
So aside from his favorite song, what are the most popular songs that you get requested for?
Number one, Patsy Cline, Crazy. It is amazing. I mean, I love Patsy Cline, and that is my favorite Patsy Cline song too. But wherever I go to set up, it never fails. Someone brings up that song. And recently I read that it was the #1, identified as the #1 jukebox song of all time.
Wow,
So
okay.
that one, and then for veterans, there is a #1 most requested, and that's Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. And I asked why, and they said because that song came out during their time of service for so many veterans, and they all can identify back to those memories of when they were serving our country.
They're very at their proudest, probably.
Exactly.
So. And you have a new song coming out on Mother's Day.
Yes, I'm very excited. It's a song that has a great message, and that's what's most important, not the singer, but the message. So I'm very excited, and people can look it up on my Facebook page, my public Facebook page, and find that song. And hopefully they'll hear it on the radio too.
We hope so. All right.
Yes.
If you're looking to compose a positive message for your senior group, give Jill a call. Her information is next. And my thanks for Jill for joining us today. Thanks.
Thank you, Lori. It was my honor.
For more information about Jill Jordan Burke and her music, log on to www.facebook.com/JillJordanBurke.com. Next, alternatives to annuities. But first, in 1964, a capsized freighter was refloated in Kuwait by filling its hull with polystyrene balls. Where did this quacky idea originate? We'll sail in with the answer when we return.
What is the new Trump tax law? The most sweeping tax overhaul in over 30 years. Mean if you have $500,000 or more in liquid assets? It means complex challenges and exceptional opportunities. Hi, I'm Jim Lineweaver, president of Lineweaver Wealth Advisors. To help you understand what these challenges and opportunities are and how you may be able to benefit from them, we've organized a professional panel of financial, legal, and tax experts with over 40 years of experience. Please join us for dinner at the beautiful Prestwick Country Club. The panel discussion and dinner are complimentary, but seating is very limited, so call today. Dates and times are on your screen.
The idea came from a 1949 Donald Duck comic. Donald and his nephews raised a yacht using ping pong balls. Walt Disney probably never imagined Donald and his antics would one day help a sinking ship halfway around the world.
If you're anything like me, you see many advertisements pushing annuities, especially for people nearing or at retirement age. When it comes to living off your savings, there are many alternatives that might be far better options for some people. Jim Lineweaver is here to tell us how to create a steady retirement income without annuities. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group, so welcome.
Hi, good to see you again.
So what are some of the downsides of annuities?
Well, annuities kind of can have their place just like any other investments. And the key here to preface this is people should be diversifying no matter what they do. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But when it comes to annuities, there's some misconceptions there because some do have surrender charges. So if you need some additional money, they could slap your hand to maybe get up out of more than a 10% withdrawal, say. But people tend to just take the gains or say interest off their annuities and lose the thought of inflation through the time. They don't really see that. So let's say you were 65 years old, you had $500,000 into an annuity and it's paying 3%. So you're taking that income every year. Well, what you don't realize is that in 10 years, even at just a nominal inflation rate, that $500,000 may only be worth $350 in 10 years. So when you go buy that new car or additional things, you might not have as much money as you thought. So there are other ways to stay ahead of inflation.
Okay, so what about investing in stocks?
Well, this is going to require a little bit more risk, but what happens is this is where the underlying stocks, if you have a well-diversified portfolio, they can pay dividends, and instead of reinvesting them to buy more shares, you can just have those dividends be sent to you on a monthly or quarterly basis. The nice thing about that is that traditionally, if you're investing in good companies over time, those dividends are actually going to increase. Also, maybe potentially the underlying stock has an ability to go up too. So you have a couple different ways to stay ahead of inflation. Like we have an investment portfolio that's strictly designed for people in retirement. It has a dividend yield in that 4 to 5% range. And as long as you're not taking out more than that, even if the market takes a dip, you don't have to sell any shares. The dividends are going to come to you, support your monthly income or annual income, and yet you don't have to panic in a down market or anything because you're still getting paid.
All right, well, that sounds promising. How about bond ladders?
Yeah, well, this is a big issue because right now as interest rates are going up, what's going to happen to bonds? Bonds are going to go down. So traditionally your mutual funds, especially domestic based, what people thought they were very safe in the portfolio may not necessarily be. So you can go buy individual bonds at a 3, 4, or 5 year basis, but you might have to have a lot more money to get the diversification you need. But what a bond ladder and maybe some of these bullet shares where you can use what's called ETFs, exchange traded funds, you can buy something that's going to mature in 3 years, and then 4 years, and then 5 years. So that in 3 years, you know, when that hits its maturity, either take it and spend it, or just roll it up for another 3 years. And guess what? Between now and then, I'm sure the interest rates will be higher. So you build in an increase in your income, and you also have liquidity along the way to spend in retirement if you need it.
Okay. Now, I've heard that real estate is good for my portfolio.
It can be. Now, you can go out and you could be the landlord and you can get the calls in the middle of the night and do all that kind of stuff. That's not a comfortable retirement for me. But if you want to do that, you can. It can provide some good income. But there are also professionals that do that for you now, too, in investment portfolios. So you can actually, you know, buy an ETF out there or some type of real estate investment trust that may be publicly or privately traded. Just make sure you look at the fundamentals. What are they investing in? What are their demographics? What part of the United States are they in? You want to be in a growing population and a good history of long dividends. So as long as they're doing that, not too bad, but there are risks inherent with real estate as well.
Okay. Well, how about life insurance policies for retirement income?
Yeah. So if you don't have cash already accumulated in these policies, it's not an option, okay? But if you have the old policies that maybe accumulated money and you have some cash value sitting there, or they use this a lot of times for executives. So if they wanted to keep you in the company and they really valued you, they could customize a life insurance or a deferred compensation plan for you so that you'd have a bunch of cash value in this policy at retirement. And then if you structure it right, you could actually take that money out monthly or annually tax-free in retirement, and it was kind of a way to keep very key employees attached to the company.
Do you lose the life insurance benefit then?
It depends on, you know, how it's structured, because you take withdrawals first and then loans, and any loans on a policy would reduce the underlying death benefit. So if anybody has some cash value life insurance policies out there, be happy to do a no obligation comparison for them, see if it makes sense.
All right. Lots of options here. Seems pretty daunting. And then there's the new Trump tax law. But I understand you've got some seminars out beginning shortly that might help our viewers.
We do, because these really changed. And when you file your taxes, you know, from last year to this 2018 year, it's going to be a huge difference. And you got to know the changes now. So we're putting on an education program at Lockkeepers here at Thursday, May 10th at 5:30, and also Tuesday, May 15th at 5:30. We're not only going to have myself there talking all the financial and insurance issues. We also have our accountant there talking about those issues. And also we have your famous Mike Solomon coming to talk about all the changes to the legal side and estate planning. So great panel, a lot of great information. It is free to viewers, but it will fill up fast. So have them give us a call.
Okay, they got a call. All right. Our thanks to Jim for helping to clarify some of our options for retirement income. If you're interested in learning more about Jim's seminar, give Lineweaver Financial Group a call. The number's next.
To find out more, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net. Next, Women Take Flight. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Stroll on over to the Akron Art Walk at the Summit Art Space in Akron. This free event will feature artists in their studios talking to visitors about their craft and showing their latest pieces. Pencil in May 5th on your calendar. And for all the details, call 330-376-8480 or visit www.summitartspace.org.
What does the new Trump tax law, the most sweeping tax overhaul in over 30 years, mean if you have $500,000 or more in liquid assets? It means complex challenges and exceptional opportunities. Hi, I'm Jim Lineweaver, president of Lineweaver Wealth Advisors. To help you understand what these challenges and opportunities are and how you may be able to benefit from them, we've organized a professional panel of financial, legal, and tax experts with over 40 years of experience. Please join us for dinner at the beautiful Prestwick Country Club. The panel discussion and dinner are complimentary, but seating is very limited, so call today. Dates and times are on your screen.
I'm Dr. Stephanie Christian of Timeless Laser and Skincare. We help men and women achieve healthy, radiant skin at any age. Because when you feel good about how you look, it changes everything.
The all-new TrueSculpt 3D is a revolutionary non-invasive body sculpting technology that diminishes fat. We can now offer our patients impressive results and comfort throughout the procedure. Get the look you want with TrueSculpt 3D.
Visit us in Westlake or at timelesslaserskin.com.
It's time to get up and go. An exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're going to show you how to do a basic body squat using our exercise bands. You ready to go?
Let's squat.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to start by standing on the center of the band. We want to make sure the band's even between both feet. All we're going to do here is we have a chair behind us just to kind of give us a guideline of how low we're going. So we're going to go ahead, squat down till our backside touches the chair, and then simply stand up. The resistance of the band is going to make it a little harder and help you work on them legs. How you feeling?
Oh, feels good.
Excellent. Now we're looking for 12 to 15 repetitions here and at least 2 to 3 sets to build your legs. Doing good.
All right.
All right. All right, everybody. Now it's your turn to get up and go. Perfect.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
Where can you find a museum filled with names of women pilots, astronauts, flight attendants, and hot air balloonists? There is only one such place that incorporates all women in flight, and it is right here in Cleveland. To get us up to speed is Heather Alexander, Executive Director of the International Women's Air and Space Museum. Wow, there's so much history to talk about. Daredevils, and it's at Burke Lakefront Airport?
That's right, Lori. So we're very excited to, this is our 20th year at Burke Lakefront Airport. It's actually our 42nd anniversary overall, and we're very excited about that.
How did the museum begin?
So the museum was founded in 1976 by a group of women who saw a need to preserve their history and their memorabilia and their achievements. They had originally been part of an organization called the 99s when the first president, elected president of that organization was Amelia Earhart.
Oh boy, so history going way back. With.
That's
So
right.
what are we going to find at the International Women's Air and Space Museum?
A little bit of everything. So we are the only place in the world that preserves the history of women in all aspects of aviation and aerospace. We have information and artifacts on over 6,000 women. And we have permanent displays on Amelia Earhart, Bessie Coleman, the Mercury 13, and we have rotating displays that we change out every year. We also have a research center that is utilized by researchers around the world doing films, books, and even high school and grade school girls or students doing book reports. So we have it open to everybody.
So research and information. So we got something here on the table. So tell us about this jacket.
So this is a new exhibit. We just received this at the museum from Pamela Melroy. She's a retired astronaut. She flew on 3 missions. 2 of them she was pilot for. The third one she was the commander for. She was the second female commander for a space shuttle mission. And we will be putting this display up in the next couple of months. We're working on that right now.
All right. Piece of history right here, right in front of us. So what have been the reactions to this museum?
It's, we have a lot of great stories, and people don't realize it. We have a lot of students that actually come in, young girls that still, unbelievably in this day and age, don't realize that women can be pilots. And so it's really interesting to see that reaction in the young people. We have a lot of older folks and adults that come in that have no idea of the history that was being made during their time period. And so we like to share what was going on then. We do focus on, we have an exhibit on the Women Air Force Service pilots, also known as the WASP, and there's a lot of people that don't realize that there were women flying during World War II.
No, I didn't realize that. Yeah. So you got something coming up, a special event, Dinner with a Slice of History.
Right, so this is our 4th, we do 4 of these a year. It's funded in part by the Cultural Arts and Culture Grant, Cuyahoga Arts and Culture Grant. This one is featuring the Women Air Force Service pilots that we just mentioned. Sarah Rickman is an author and historian, and she will be coming in from Colorado to share their story with us. She's written many, many books, and it's going to be a great event.
And then in May, you have Family Day, where the whole family can come out.
Yes, so this is a great event to bring the kids, the grandkids down. It's aimed at kids, but we really do see a lot of the adults doing all the activities and
Having
crafts as
more
well.
fun.
Right. So we do fill the whole airport with all sorts of games, activities, crafts. The fire truck comes over, the police helicopter comes over. We team up with NASA, the USS COD, and a host of other local organizations to really put on a great event that is free for the family to come down. Great to bring the grandkids down.
Wow. So dinner and family days, and you have even more events, right?
We do. So we have an outreach program that we can go out to senior homes, libraries, schools. We do offer box lunch tours and just straight tours, which is great for a lot of organizations. A lot of senior groups come in, nursing homes, book clubs, church groups, you name it, we've got a program for it. We have a lot of kids programs as well. We also have a wine tasting event that is the Friday before Labor Day, so right before the Cleveland National Air Show, which is a big event. We fill the whole airport with a variety of wineries. Most of them are local, and just have a great time.
Sounds like a great place to visit.
So it's a lot of fun.
All right. We're lucky in Cleveland to be able to fly above the rest of the cities with so many wonderful opportunities. If you want to take off into space, soar down to the International Women's Air and Space Museum. My thanks to Heather for joining us today. Her information is coming up next.
Find out more by calling the International Women's Air and Space Museum at 216-623-1111 or click to www.iwasm.org. Next, protecting those who protected us.
For nearly 100 years, Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center has been the premier provider of speech language, hearing loss, and deaf community services. Infants, children, and adults with special communication needs can receive hearing screenings and exams. Hearing aid brands such as Phonak, speech and language therapy, stroke recovery therapy, sign language interpreting, deaf advocacy, and support. To learn more, call Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center at 216-231-8787 or visit chsc.org.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Then here's your second chance, because we're going to list all of that information again. Then we'll be back to help veterans avoid scams. We've done a number of shows on scams. One of the worst targeting scams is against veterans. AARP and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service have launched Operation Protect Veterans to help raise awareness of common scams targeting veterans. Here to discuss scams that veterans should be aware of is my veteran law partner, Michael Solomon. So as I've said, we've talked about senior scams. So what are some of these bad things that are happening with scams against veterans?
By the way, I'm not a real veteran, just so we don't.
Yeah, okay. That's true.
Okay, so, but AARP and the U.S. Post Office, they got together and published a book on many ways that veterans are targeted versus everyone else in general. And you can get a copy of that. You can go to the AARP website. It should be on the screen, but it's aarp.org/protectveterans. And then you get a copy of this booklet, which shows a lot of the ways that people are trying to go after veterans. I'll cover some of these. We'll see how much time we have. The first one is that veterans many times can qualify for a pension or a disability payment, and they're being scammed by some people who say, "Look, we'll get you a lump sum amount for these benefits." The trouble is, many times, those lump sum payments just aren't a good deal, according to AARP. They may not be a good deal for veterans, so they need to be very, very careful on that line. Along the other similar sort of scam is that they'll meet people and say, "Look, we need to mix up your investments, change them a lot, so you'll qualify for more government benefits." And that's probably not true. So what's recommended under the AARP booklet is that they contact the Ohio Department of Veterans Affairs. There's a toll-free number on the screen, and you can find out exactly what you're entitled to. You can go to their website or talk to them. They'll help you. The telephone number is 877-644-6838. So that's a number to call, and then you can that's a good place to start.
Okay. How about another scam?
Well, okay, remember that telephone number I gave you?
Yeah, you just sent the telephone number, right?
That's right. Okay, so The latest scam is that the scammers will set up toll-free numbers rather than the number I gave you was 877, so maybe they do an 800. And so the veteran, they automatically dial 800 because that was the typical toll-free number, and they dial the rest of the number. And so you get a number, and that's a scam location. So they pretend they're the veterans. You've called what you thought was the right number, and then they start trying to get as much information from you as they can. You know, I had that happen to me with the TV cable. I called a number, but I had the wrong first 3 digits. I called 800.
So the 7 digits are the same. It's just those first 3 that they switch out.
And I started talking to the guy, and he kept trying to sell me a completely different system, which I thought was strange, and I realized it, and I hung up. So make sure you know who you're dialing. Double check the number.
All right. So how about another scam?
Okay,
These
now
are just awful. We want to talk about as many as we can.
That's right. So this one is that you get a phone call from the VA, purportedly from the VA, saying, look, we need some more information. We need to update your records. Give us, your telephone number, date of birth, social security number, and they start peeling information out of you. The VA never calls you. So if you get one of those phone calls, hang up. Similarly, they sometimes call and say, look, we can get you all your documents from the VA, all your government records and all the paperwork you need, and we'll just charge you $100 or some number like that. That's reasonable, saves me time and effort. The information's free. You don't have to pay for it. So again, if you have any problems, call the Ohio Department of Veterans Affairs and Veterans Services, and there's a number. It's not a toll-free number. It's 614-644-0898, or go to the government website, the Ohio website, which is DVS, Department of Veterans Services, .ohio.gov.
Okay.
Hopefully, if you Google it, you'll get the right place. Make sure you go to the right website.
That's important,
we talked about that on another show where they have these phony websites.
That's
the world's
true.
out there trying to grab everything they can from you. You have to be real careful.
Phony toll-free numbers, phony websites.
Right.
It's a scary world out
it really
there.
is.
So now this was, though, very helpful information for our veterans. Remember to contact the Ohio Department of Veterans Services, or for more information, call Mike. The number is next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, sweet treats for your next party. Plus, tips on making your home senior-friendly. And we'll work on that spring smile. But until next week, when we've got all that great information, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.